Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another review of the UFC, this time UFC 268 with the main event Kamaru Usman vs Colby Covington. This card took place in New York on November the 6th, 2021. Now I will make a brief on all the fighting card and will stop to make a few comments on the most significant fights of the night. So please, if you enjoyed this content, like, subscribe and share. And I also invite you to come to my other YouTube channels, Mr. Poloche to make knowledge viral and Mr. Poloche casual videos to enjoy some tourism and cool videos. Please remember that this content is also available on Spotify as Mr. Poloche Sports. Now let's begin. First, we have 5 fights at the early preliminaries. The first one was a flyweight bout, CJ Vergara losing to Ozzy Osbourne by unanimous decision. The second fight was at featherweight, Melsik Bagdasaryan winning against Bruno Sousa by unanimous decision. The third fight was at light heavyweight, Dustin Jacoby winning against John Allen by unanimous decision. The fourth fight was at heavyweight, Gian Villante losing to Chris Barnett by knockout at 2 minutes and 23 seconds of the second round in a spectacular fashion. Chris throwing a spinning high leg kick and then celebrating with a really impressive flip on the air, which is surprising by someone who weighs 263 pounds or 119 kilograms. I think we should follow Chris. He might not be a fit athlete, but he can certainly put on a show. The fifth fight was at welterweight, Ian Garry winning by knockout against Jordan Williams in the very last second of the first round. And guess what? Ian is Irish and was praised by Conor McGregor. Next Monday after the fight, Ian was interviewed by Ariel Helwani and he said something like, "Ireland will explode if Conor and I will share the card." This doesn't mean they fight each other, because McGregor is smaller and was champion at featherweight and lightweight, not welterweight. I think we should pay attention to Ian's career. He looks like a promising star. Then we saw the standard preliminaries, starting with the sixth fight of the night at middleweight, Edmen Shabasian losing to Nasruddin Imavov by knockout at 4 minutes and 52 seconds of the second round. The seventh fight was a middleweight bout, Phil Haas losing to Chris Curtis at 4 minutes and 27 seconds of the first round. Philip was landing a lot of punches, but this man Chris is so tough, he was able to resist all of them, and by the end of the second round, with a couple of what seemed just simple punches, he made Philip stumble and then went on to him so that the referee had to stop the fight. The eighth fight was at lightweight, Al Aikinta losing to Bobby Green by knockout at 2 minutes and 25 seconds of the very first round. And the ninth fight and last of the preliminaries, Alex Pereira winning against Andreas Michailidis in a spectacular fashion with a flying knee at 18 seconds of the second round after successfully avoiding being taken down by Andreas in the first round. Alex, besides Jan Blachowicz, is the only man that has professionally defeated Israel Adesanya, and this is the reason UFC signed him in, hoping he may put a real threat to the current undefeated king of the middleweight. Actually, later on, Israel Adesanya posted a video saying he hopes Alex does well so that they can meet again, because he is very aware that he lost to Alex twice, but that was a different story because back in the day Israel was younger and less proficient. Let's hope Alex goes up in the ranks so that we can get to see those two warriors fighting each other again. Now in the main card, the 10th fight of the night was the highly anticipated one between Justin Gaethje and Michael Chandler at lightweight. A complete war between these two men who delivered what they promised, non-stop action the whole fight. A give-and-take act that put both men in real danger of losing by knockout, but none of them surrendered. However, the worst damage was evidently in Chandler's face, so he lost by unanimous decision. At the end, they greeted each other, showing respect, and they even took a picture with both teams. The 11th fight was a featherweight bout, Shane Burgos winning against Billy Quarantillo by unanimous decision. Another war following the path that Justin and Michael Chandler marked, making a bloody mess all around the cage. 12th fight was at the bantamweight, Frankie Edgar losing to Marlon Vera by knockout at 3 minutes and 50 seconds of the third round. The 13th fight for the women's strawweight title, the champion Rose Namajunas successfully defending her title against Zhang Weili and winning by split decision. And let me say, this fight was very exciting from start to end. Both fighters doing the best and making her opponent show real endurance and skills on both the ground and stand-up striking. There was a couple of opportunities for Zhang Weili to win, but Rose Namajunas demonstrated she has deservedly earned her nickname as Thug Rose. She never gave up and ended up making the most damage and controlling on the ground by the end of the fight. And last, the 14th fight for the men's welterweight title. The current champion Kamaru Usman successfully defending his title against Colby Covington. Kamaru started landing extremely powerful punches to Colby's face, and it seemed the fight was about to end during the second round, but somehow Colby regained his composure and plan. So he started to timing Kamaru's movements in order to cause damage, but wow, Kamaru is so tough. He did receive damage, but it was barely noticeable in his face, whilst Colby's face was already bleeding. Colby made a great roll. He stood until the end of the fight, making Kamaru give his best, but the victory was Kamaru's. A good thing to see at the end of the fight was both fighters shared a moment to pay respect to each other privately. But later on, Colby came back to his antagonist role, saying Kamaru is a cheater. Nevertheless, Kamaru said Colby is the second best in the division and certainly the one capable of sharing the octagon for a complete fight. He compared their rivalry to Ali needing Joe Frazier. Well, this has been my brief on the card. What do you think about UFC 268? What were the fights you enjoyed the most? Please leave your comments. Don't forget to give me a like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you on the next UFC!